What is up, RotoGrinders? Late start today because it's a short slate, 5:30 of course on the East Coast, which means an hour and a half, 90 minutes of nonstop NBA DFS conversation. Crunch time coming in about a half hour or so. No, in an hour. They'll come in with about a half hour until lock, around 6:25, 6:30 on the East Coast. We're off the floor holding that down. You got Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, Kid Yahoo, leader of the Juggalos, Tiny Hands Nation, and then Noto. You guys know Notorious from the core plays amongst other things. It is a Fleet Thursday. Let's go ahead and drop that first clue. A little bit less time. So let's drop that first clue, get it out of the way. Now Chop's excited. He loves himself a Fleet Thursday. 5-gamer, Chopper. A lot of stars. We got the stars tonight, but not a lot of scrubs. It's weird. There's some stars I want to play, and we do, turns out, live in the world of a salary cap, and it makes things kind of tricky because as things stand right now, the stars are great. Good matchups, fun matchups. I did drop the situation room in the YouTube. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and check out the situation room. That is a free piece of content as far as who's in, who's out, who we're monitoring. Latest game on the slate, Ant Edwards is questionable. I assume he plays, but that is of note. LaMelo, midday downgrade is questionable. We also got a midday downgrade of Bradley Beal, who's been playing an absurd amount of minutes of late. So stuff to keep an eye on. Chop, welcome to the show. How are things in your world?
Yeah, all right, Dean. Did I get it? I guessed in the chat. Did I get it?
I don't know who that is. Is that a?
Oh man.
Yeah. I know who it is now. Yeah. No, you did not get it, but I appreciate it. It's a good guess. It's actually a very, very good guess.
Okay. Yeah, things all right. What is it? Thursday?
It is Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday.
Happy Thursday. It's all right, man. Little 5-gamers spread it out. They spread it out for us all night long. They did it just enough, so we got to check in like every hour. We can't have no time to relax and watch TV, man. We just got to check in every hour to make sure nothing's off. But yeah, Dean, we're actually tomorrow's the last day of February. Then you know what time it is. March Madness. March Madness.
By the way, it's this label. It takes like the March Madness doesn't start till like March 20th. It's false advertising.
No, because what I've come to realize, Dean, is that the true March Madness starts
tournaments
on that Monday where they kick off the tournaments. That's like the true. That's like the true, like all day, every day for a week straight at least right there, and then you get your brackets, and then you get to the good. So yeah, I'm okay with it being labeled by March Madness, but I remember a few years back, didn't they try to dupe us that one year and give us and kick everything off on a Friday and run and then run it through a Monday instead of Thursday through Sunday, which is the traditional and what it should be. I remember they tried to dupe us one year.
There was something. What was the reason for that? There was some kind of reason to motivate it, but I do recall what you're saying.
Yeah, that shouldn't be an issue though. But I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready for it. But in the meantime, I guess we walk through some basketball. Basketball kind of stinks. I ain't gonna lie to you, Dean. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna do all that. But the NBA is kind of like it's a little rough around the edges. And by the way, like Philly's in trouble, right? Man, what if they tank so much and then they don't even get their pick?
It's top 6 protected.
Yeah, what if
they got a full Embiid cannot play the rest of the season. They got to fully shut him down.
They might not, though. You never know. But they could even if you didn't play, you're still not guaranteed that top 6. I mean, it's all up to the balls of the lottery at that point. There's a lot of weird things out there in the NBA. The Suns are like I would have never thought that they would be sweating the play-in, but they're sweating the play-in. It's bizarre how this is turning out this year, but we'll see.
They're on the outside looking at them right now. By the way, Philadelphia is currently 6th in the tankathon. They've lost 9 games in a row. Fabulous job by Philly. Just completely losing every single game. Shout out to Detroit. I think Detroit's won 8 or 9 in a row now. We talked about it yesterday. One thing we got right. A lot of stuff.
Yeah, they put a spanking on the Celtics last night.
Yeah. It just felt like a spot for Detroit, but we talked about that one yesterday. But we don't have today. We don't have Daron Sharp, and we don't have Collins. Those are the players we don't have at our disposal. Unfortunately, bad job by me. I kind of didn't play both those guys a ton. Played some, but not enough. I tried to overthink it and, let's get Şengün in there. Let's get Zubac. But that's kind of results-based thinking. But there were some monster scores last night. I saw close to 400 on some contests. I believe but shout out to me, I think I did actually cash a lineup cashed with Avdia, which is, 6 points, 8 points. Not a lot of vengeance there. He got hurt. Kind of a bummer. But, some big scores last night with two super cheap centers that got you a combined, 90 or no, over 100, I think, right? Collins and Sharp.
I had Kyle Anderson. I shut off my computer, but
are you smoking? What's going on?
Look at these effects I got for you. Dude.
Is Luka Doncic in the room? I see all this smoke. What's going on?
Look at these visuals I got for you. These visual effects.
Is this something on StreamYard, or where do I get these buttons from?
Come on, Dean. I can't give out my secrets, man.
Oh, I didn't realize that you have a. Yeah, I could use that. That would work well with my with my Mr. Predicto. Kind of add to the mystique.
Oh, it would. I'll give you the heads up later on.
Mr. Predicto, by the way, 50-50 at best these days. It's not at the top of his game. We might have to go back to the Magic 8-Ball. All reliable. But we have that just in case as well. Oh, I almost dropped it. Almost threw it at you. But there you go. In case we need such things. But I think we did get one rule. Anthony's in, which is kind of surprising. First game of the night. Cole Anthony's officially in for Orlando. Beal is questionable. Feels kind of dicey. Midday downgrade. I guess it would be, we have an if-then for it, I believe. A combination of Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen, maybe Tyus Jones getting taking up those minutes. Bull we're already assuming is starting. 10 players for New Orleans tonight. This is the front half of a back-to-back for New Orleans and Phoenix. I believe they're running this back tomorrow in Phoenix. The presumption would be, and I guess they're resting Kelly O and I think Brown as well. And got to assume Zion doesn't play tomorrow. That's just kind of what they're doing. Anything else of note as far as injury stuff? I did drop the Edwards thing. I assume he plays. They really need to win, but who knows? LaMelo midday downgrade, and the Hornets are just a disaster. The Hornets, you can be hyperbolic sometimes, Chop, but I say you, the generic you. I can too. They have the worst 3-game stretch in the history of basketball, the Hornets. I don't know if you aware of this. As far as losing, I think they've lost by an average of 41, 42, 43 points. It's just historic. It's really impressive. It's hard to do, even if you're trying. Last 3 games, they've lost, 130 to 88, 141 88, and I'm skipping I don't have the third one because I pulled up Ball's box score and I forgot he missed one of the games. But who else played all 3 of those games? It's bad. It's bad times in Charlotte, is the point. They're terrible. And Ball's questionable. And Nurkic is questionable.
Yeah. I mean, it happens, Dean. It's March. It's almost March. A lot of these teams are going to completely give up. I got something for you, though, Dean. Maybe
is it Houston Astros trivia?
You know what's weird, Dean? I want to bring this up, too, before I ask you any questions. It's a Houston Astros calendar with trivias and facts, and almost everything is Houston related. But these last, you missed trivia from yesterday, and then obviously these aren't Houston related. This is weird. These 2 questions aren't Houston related. So let me give you today's and yesterday's and see if you can get at. I see you pulling up your keyboard. You try to sneak one in on me.
You're gonna try to Google. I was moving my Mr. Predicto over. It's all
okay.
I wasn't trying to Google.
Reminder: not Houston Astro related. So I don't know what they're doing to me here. But
I studied about the Astros all night, knowing the show was going to happen, and now it's.
Here's a good one. I think this is a good one right here. Who was the first Japanese-born player to hit at least 150 career homers in Major League Baseball? Japanese-born first. The first one. Ouch. We know the famous ones, but who was the first one to ever hit 150 career homers at the MLB level?
I wonder if – I don't know this. I know the obvious answer is the Yankee. I think that's the obvious answer. But I wonder if somebody was born a Japanese base or something like that not necessarily is maybe they're stationed out there, their parents are stationed out there. But I'm going to say Hideki Matsui.
Oh, ding, ding, ding! Give that man his props. He got it on the first shot. He didn't even need a clue. I was going to give you Yankees as a clue, and the one you missed yesterday is recent history. So maybe you get this one in 2017. Aaron Judge
Heard of him.
hit 52 homers to set an MLB record for rookies, home runs for rookies.
Yeah.
Who broke that mark 2 years later when he hit 53 homers as a rookie?
Oh, man. Well, I just happened to notice the chat, and I see Steve popped in, so I'm going to yield to Steve.
Oh, come on now.
The polar bear.
The polar bear.
You hated the polar bear until he re-signed with the Mets. Now you're back on.
No, I told you the whole deal. I was okay with whatever happened, but I would have been fine.
Did he resign? He resigned?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he got a 2-year deal.
They got a good team out there.
Yeah, it should be a fun season for
I mean, if their pitchers can stay healthy, they're in trouble there.
Manaya's already
we already lost 2.
Yeah. That doesn't bode well in that 7-game series against the Dodgers, but you got a really good offense.
McGuire, I think, at 49 as a rookie. I don't know. Is that who Judge beat record-wise? I'm not sure if that was part of the question, but
it wasn't part of the question, but that'd probably be a pretty good guess.
Tonight's slate. It's a 5-gamer, Chop. Do you have any general thoughts before we dive in? Do you kind of agree? Like the studs are great.
Yeah, lots of good stars. Not a lot of great value. I don't know. Still licking my wounds from Kyle Anderson last night. So I wonder who tonight's Kyle Anderson. We're gonna I don't know. We're gonna see how it plays out. I don't know.
Spo is fickle, and what happened was he played defense or got burned on defense on the pick and roll stuff. He played about a minute and a half. He got the hook because he had 2 bad defensive sets, and that was it. He was done. And also, it didn't help that who was playing good off the bench. The other guys, Miami's got a tricky rotation. It's really fluid. Robinson, the Spur, Duncan Robinson. His nickname's the Spur. You've heard that before? Somebody, combination of the two. And then somebody else was playing well off the bench. And he didn't even get a chance in the second half. It was brutal. I had some too. I felt bad because I recommended him yesterday. It's like, I think he put up a legit 0. Wasn't hurt. It wasn't good.
Don't know, Dean. We're okay. We'll get him today. We'll get him back. But before we get to the island game that starts in an hour and 15 minutes, we gotta get clue number 2.
All right, second clue, and we'll get going. Second clue. Let's see the Discord. I don't think anybody guessed it. Gregorius guessed Mike Trout. T. Carter guessing Shane Falco. Do you know Shane Falco?
The Replacements?
Yeah. And when I think of the Replacements, who do I think of? Shout out Gene Hackman.
Oh, man. Brutal. Yeah. What happened there? I don't even know. I mean, I have some hypothesis, but crazy stuff. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Gene Hackman was also in The Hoosiers. That was a good movie.
The thing with Gene Hackman is you can ask 10 different people and say, what movie do you think of when you think of Gene Hackman? You'll get 10 different answers. None of them are necessarily wrong, right? I guess
just a really good one under the radar that nobody really talks about enough with Denzel and Gene Hackman was the Crimson Tide, the submarine movie. Oh, man, that was a good one, man.
Well, wasn't that was Sean Connery?
No. It was the Gene Hackman Denzel submarine movie. I don't know if it was the Crimson Tide. I think it was. Yeah. Gene Hackman had the dog.
Yeah, Crimson Tide. What am I thinking? Yeah, he's in Crimson Tide. You're correct. Yes.
Man, that was a good one.
Wait, was it also Sean Connery? Am I making?
Oh yeah, the Connery was Hunt for Red October.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
okay,
that's not even the same.
Yeah.
The Alabama. Right. Man, that was such a good movie, man.
My bad.
Yep. R.I.P. Gino, man, Gene.
Yeah. Royal Tenenbaums.
But the weird.
It's a fun movie too.
The weird thing is, not to say like he deserved. Like I'm not saying that but he was 95. Can you believe the man was 95? The 95, like that's getting up there. It's getting up there.
He also hadn't been in a movie in 20 years. Like actors rarely retire. He retired. He's like, yeah, this is it. They rarely retire.
95 and you're living in your own home with your wife and your dog. Like that's a pretty damn good life right there. A long life. That's good stuff.
Yeah. And by all, supposedly he was a good dude. I don't know. Like the people, and people always say kind things, but heard some good stories about him. But all right, tonight's second clue. Let's do the second clue. Let's knock that out. Second clue is grab, fly and grab. Those are our first two clues. Tell me what athlete I'm talking about. Jump in the Discord, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. First person to correctly tell me, only one guess per clue drop, what athlete we're talking about. You get yourself a week free of RotoGrinders Premium. It is not Jim Edmonds or Bo Jackson or Diana Taurasi. I see you think I'm going to go with recent news. Sometimes that happens. It's not Jameis Winston, D-Rock, or Travis Pastrana, which is a motorcycle guy, pretty sure. Okay. First game is the Warriors, the Magic. I'd say the least appealing game on the board. You tell me otherwise. Certainly by total. 213. The Magic are 4-point dogs here versus the Warriors. The Warriors are really, really healthy these days. TJD officially ruled in with his illness. The only player that's still out for them, we haven't seen him in a while, is Kuminga. Coming back soon, fairly soon, I think. Cole Anthony is good to go. He got hurt last game. Jalen Suggs is still out, nothing new. Mo Wagner's still out, nothing new. We talked about this the other day. Warriors have just had a weird season where, started off really hot, got really bad. Now they're back, they're rising back up again with the addition of Jimmy, figuring some stuff out. Obviously not the best game environment here with the total. It's the only game at 7:00. Of course, you can fully punt it if you want to. I probably will. I don't make a lot of lineups, but we'll see. You got an hour to if we're still waiting for news, we're still waiting for information, for some clarity. More incentive to punt this game. I'm curious your thoughts, Golden State and the Magic.
This is a prime punt game with the way this slate is scheduled. It's definitely a prime punt game now. Are there players in this game that are okay? Yeah, I think 5,100 for Wendell Carter is going to get you a little bit of love, 20% on. Paolo and Franz in this matchup probably suits them pretty decently. I prefer Paolo, but I could see using either one of them against Golden State, who they're kind of taking away the 3-point line and they're taking away the rim, but they're leaving that middle ground open for you, and both of those guys have the type of game that can take advantage of that. So I prefer Paolo. He's 100 cheaper, and I just think he's probably a little bit less consistent, but I think more upside in the long run. So I'll lean towards him on that one. But on the Golden State side, what Orlando does do is they do suffocate the 3-point line. So I really don't like Curry tonight. I'm going to stay away from that one. But I think there's room. If that means if they're taking away Curry, probably going to get a little extra Jimmy tonight. And Jimmy does have the type of game that can beat Orlando. They are very handsy. They'll foul you. He's great at drawing fouls when he wants to, when he's actually, focused on basketball. So I think there's a room for Jimmy Butler to kind of have a decent game here. And with that being said, I don't think I'm playing anybody from this game. But I could make a point for those guys. I don't want the value in this game. I don't think there's any value I want in this game. I'll put it like that.
Wendell Carter, maybe. I don't need it, but I think that's okay at 5.2 on DK. Ownership wise, right now, most popular is Franz Wagner at 17%. I'm probably not getting there like you. Again, don't make a lot of lineups. I don't think you're making a lot of lineups either. Certainly, if you're running 150, get a taste. To your point about the threes, Orlando does give up the fewest made threes on the season. They play at one of the slowest paces in basketball. And one of the better defensive teams. Looking at the last 15, Orlando is the 8th best defense. The Warriors the 3rd best defense. It's not a lot to love, but for sure, if you want to play, Steph, have at it, enjoy yourself. I just think there's much better plays. But in a sample size of 1, I guess he can get hot and make a bunch of shots. Ben Carroll, we got a 13%, Draymond at 14%. And again, Golden State is fully healthy. Pods. The price is kind of caught up with what the production is. He's now in the 6s. So, he's fine, but not somebody I'm prioritizing and going to be punting this game. Almost definitely punting this game. We should move on. Again, an hour afterwards. So if there is some, injury stuff out there, get some clarity or just starting lineup stuff, maybe, possibly with Phoenix. Phoenix 9:00, you still might not get it. We have PJ Washington who's questionable. I think it's the same body part he's been playing through. I don't know how much they need him, but also it's a revenge game, so I'm guessing he plays through it. We'll see. Not the first revenge game, though, right? I don't know how vengeful he may or may not be. Most appealing game, I think, from a watchability perspective. I guess there's two really good ones. I think it's clearly haves and have-nots on this slate. One of the halves is Denver and Milwaukee, 241 total, biggest total on the board, high and tight. Milwaukee is a 3.5-point dog at home. This is the front half of the TNT doubleheader. No, it's not a TNT doubleheader. First game's on TNT. The second game is on NBA TV for some reason. I don't know why, but that's what's going down there. Giannis, as always, he's probable. I assume he's going to be probable playing through it with his strain. No Pat Connaughton. Bobby Portis, of course, gone for the next 20 games or so. Denver is fully healthy of players that are of importance. Jamal Murray on the injury report, probable with his knee. Aaron Gordon also probable with his calf. So pretty healthy teams. No Portis for Milwaukee, but that's just kind of the way it's been for a while here at Chop. My favorite play is in this game. My favorite big spend is in this game. I'm limiting it down for you. Who is it? Who's my favorite big spend on the slate?
Well, you like the chalk, so I'm going to say Dame Lillard.
Well, hold on a second. Is Dame the chalkiest amongst the big spends in this game?
I
don't play Dame a lot as a general.
I've got him as the chalkiest here, but I might be mistaken here.
He's 17% on DK. I like his teammate. I like Giannis.
Do you?
This is the cheapest, specifically on DK. This is the cheapest we've seen Giannis literally the entire season.
You know what? That's hand up. That's on me. I'm looking at FanDuel because I'm playing FanDuel tonight. So I've got the FanDuel angle, and Dame's 37% projected on FanDuel. So
yeah,
but I get it. Okay. DK's different.
He's got to be a better player. I know the salary. He's 8.8 on FanDuel. Yeah, DK, he's not. Yeah, so salary wise, he's better, but fantasy points per minute, as far as DK in the season, 1.26. Imagine it's got to be a bit lower. Yeah, 119 on FanDuel with the 3-point bonus not available. And of course, he's getting hit with those turnovers. So Giannis on DK, I certainly like him on FanDuel as well. But like 10-7, Chop. 10-7 is the cheapest. The cheapest we've seen Giannis the entire season. He's never been this cheap. He's been up to 12-3 at some point. So he's 12-3 down to 10-7. And why is he down to 10-7? He was 11K last game, 11-1, 11-5, 11-7. He got hit with those, those 2 games where he had those minutes restrictions. They kept him at 24. He actually didn't even get the 24 because he was in foul trouble against Washington and fouled out. But I think that's gone. I assume that's gone. This is an island game. Didn't play yesterday. Not playing tomorrow. He played 32 minutes the last 2 games. Also, it's national TV. What does national TV mean? You get a couple extra more commercial stuff. A little bit more of a breather as far as resting. I think there's a chance he gets the 34-35 as far as minutes. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I think there's a chance. I think we're projecting him for 33.
Okay.
34. We're projecting 34.
Ooh, we're projecting.
Against the Joker. It's a primetime matchup.
I get it, dude.
10-7? It's a slate with a bunch of studs, but that to me is the best price.
I think I put in the survey, he's the guy I'm scared of being underweight on because I don't think I'll have him in my lineup. And that's a scary thing for Giannis in a matchup like this. But I think my preference is, and we'll talk about it later, is I'm leaning on a night game later on that I like the most. So
that's the second best game.
You have to you can't play everybody, especially with no value. Like I can't jam in 3 high price players. That'd be a massive pitfall down at the bottom of your lineup. So got to fade somebody. I prefer to go with those late night hammers. So Giannis is the one I'm going to have to fade, but I definitely see that in a game like this against Jokic and all the other. It's a good game and all that good stuff. So I could see that playing out. Lillard fits the archetype though, and not just the defense. Let me pull up.
That's number one. Number one.
Did he? Okay, that's good for him. Yeah, I didn't even look at that, but I figured he fit it because of the 3-point shooting against Denver, and that's kind of what they've been particularly rough against the 3-point shooting here, especially in the last couple of months. So I like Lillard too, but I think that's why he's chalk. And so he could go that route. The other guys, no, I think earlier something was trying to force me in some AJ Green, hard pass on Torian Prince or AJ Green. I don't want any of that. don't want Lopez or Kuzma when they're both healthy and in the lineup. So it's this either Lillard or Giannis at the top if you want to go that. I'm not doing it, but I like them both. On the flip side, you got Jokic in this matchup against Giannis, and he hasn't shown any like ill effects of playing Giannis before. He's dominated him before, so I wouldn't. It's not a tough matchup for him. You could go with Russell Westbrook. It's only 5,900. He's okay. He's going to get that. I think they're trying to jam some Aaron Gordon in the optimals for me. I kind of don't want that. And Jamal Murray's still got a good price tag, and he's starting to snap out of the slump, but he's a bit chalky on FanDuel. I don't know if I want to go that route, but these guys are all good plays. I just don't know how much I'm going to have of this game when I like the other games later even more.
Yeah, Russ's price has gone down, but his role's gone down. He's coming off the bench now, and it's hard to trust. But again, we're looking for salary savers. You mentioned Green. I don't want to play Green, but I might play Green. I might pair him with Giannis. You get those 5-point plays. Those are beautiful plays. Giannis, getting the assist on the Green threes. He's got to make. If he's not making his threes, go to bed. But he's 3-6, and again, value is tough. And the basis of my lineups tonight, the plan is we'll see if anything changes. It's I'm going to have a stack of either Minnesota, Milwaukee, or a stack of Minnesota or the Lakers, or Milwaukee and Denver. And when I say stack, it's like you can't play Giannis and Lillard and Joker. Like you can't do that. At some point you get caught salary wise. But like one key piece Giannis and one key piece on the other side. I don't think I'm going to get the Joker. I love Joker, of course. Who doesn't love Joker? I don't think I can afford it. I don't think the field's going to play him either. Again, 8%, 10% maybe is going to get played tonight as of right now. But you mentioned Murray. Murray at 7-7 seems like a pretty good deal here against Milwaukee. Again, a good matchup there as well. They don't have great perimeter defense if you just think of their individual defenders. So, and I'm fine with Gordon as well. This is my favorite game. I think it's my favorite game on the slate, and I don't want to play Green, but I'm willing to. If I'm building like a stack around this, like a 2-2 with two of the expensive guys, two of the cheaper guys. Anything else here of notes, or shall we move on?
We shall move it on down the road following clue number 3.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon was guessed in the chat by Flores Mark, Dwight Evans, Mookie Betts, Larry Fitzgerald. Some guesses coming in.
I didn't get my second guess, so after clue 2, this is going to be my guess, Dean.
All right. You did not guess it, but you're on the right track as far as the thought process. The next clue is sweet, fly, grab, and sweet. All right. And the next game that we're doing, it's funny. Somebody else just guessed Odell Beckham that you guessed. That's so funny. Iowa boy. It is not Odell Beckham, but that's who Chop guessed. Third game, a little bit tricky because there's some unknowns here. Charlotte taking on Dallas. We talked about Charlotte getting absolutely hammered 3 games in a row. We got a questionable tag on Ball. They're currently at 10-point dogs here. 222 is the total. It's an 8:30 game, so it's an hour and a half after lock. As of right now, the injury report, what are we looking at? LaMelo's questionable. Daquan Jeffries is questionable. Nurkic midday downgrade as far as his illness. They've been doing, as far as their centers, if he goes away, that it will be a combination of Williams and they have Taj as well too, right? Who's the other center that they would have? Solana's out. Okogie, of course, is out. No Grant Williams, obviously. No Trey Mann. No Brandon Miller. But who am I thinking of? Oh, yeah, Diabate. Diabate is who I'm thinking of. They would probably split those 48 up. If Ball doesn't go, it'll be some combination of, and we saw this, like Elf. His 10 days coming up soon. We saw Damian Baugh has been getting some run. We saw Baugh close in the blowout last game alongside Kenneth Simpson, who started last game. My guess is Simpson would start if Ball doesn't go, but it's all such nonsense. But again, it does matter, I think. What is Simpson up to? He's 4-3. Baugh's 4-1. So there's some potential value on a slate where we don't have a lot of value. As far as Dallas, what we're waiting for on them, well, Dwight Powell, he came back, but now he's questionable with his hip. Obviously, the rest of the bigs are donezo for now. Lively, Gafford, Anthony Davis, no Caleb Martin, and P.J. Washington, who would be well-positioned. One of the best plays on the slate math-wise is currently questionable. Take on his former team. Your thoughts, Chop, Hornets, and the Mavs.
My thoughts are, this is there's some pieces in this. Nick Smith Jr. at 4,700 is playable. If Mark Williams is going to get limited again to 25 or less minutes or something like that. Actually, if I knew Mark Williams was going to get some minutes,
it's a good spot. He gets an undersized team.
Okay, I see my clues. I gotta get back on track here. I'm gonna get a good guess here. This next clue, I know what's going on now. I think Mark Williams, great spot, but I don't know about the minutes. I think he would probably smash if I knew he was going to get 30 plus minutes. But at 7K, I just can't do it with the possibility he doesn't get there. So Charlotte just doesn't jump out to me very much at all. It's the Dallas side that's really good. Max Christie's in a great little position here at only 5,400. Pretty good projection. Big ownership on PJ Washington, but they both deserve it. I had them highlighted here. First of all, Charlotte, they don't rebound very well. PJ Washington's your best rebounder for Dallas if he plays. So he's going to get his double-double. And he's just going to get some points. Charlotte's been giving points up in droves lately. So Washington's in a good spot if he's active for this game. If Max Christie's going to get some good run here. I like those guys. You could play Kyrie, 92. I'm not going to play him because I like other guys in that price range a lot more, but I get it. It's Charlotte, and Charlotte's going to give up a ton of points here, and that's Kyrie's specialty. So those three guys stand out to me for Dallas. The other guys, unless there's an injury, I'm not playing. Man, listen, not only was it a Kyle Anderson thing, but I keep falling for the Dante Exum stuff too, and I can't. He stinks, man. So I'm not doing that. Not doing Dinwiddie or Marshall or Klay Thompson. And I'm not that interested in Charlotte. But those three Dallas guys, I'd pick one of them. Maybe two out of the three are fine. But PJ Washington's in a really good matchup for what he does well, if that's what you want to go with.
So one of the more popular players in the slate currently projected is Max Christie at almost 38% on DK. PJ Washington 23%. As well. We are giving Nurkic 17% ownership. He might not even play in his 16 minutes. I'm guessing he doesn't. Midday downgrade, illness. To me, that's kind of a red flag. As far as back-to-back stuff, by the way, Denver, the Pelicans. We talked about the Pelicans are going to play Phoenix again tomorrow, and then the Wolves and the Lakers. They're also in the front half of back-to-back. Nobody's in the back half of back-to-back. I'm pretty sure, unless I missed something in the stuff I was writing down. Despite that, by the way, having fun with small samples. Last three games, the Hornets, their defensive rating, 130.4. This is last three games, 130.4, which is the worst defensive rating by 7 points. And their offensive rating is 87.6, which is the worst offensive rating by about 11 points. They're horrible. You extend the sample size. You want to make it 15. Sure, let's make it 15. They're still the worst offensive team in basketball. Their defense, actually, I don't think it's completely horrendous. Oh no, actually, it's got to be exposed by. Yeah, it wasn't that bad until the last so many games. Since they're 24th now. It's a bad scene in Charlotte these days. Let's move on. Right, nothing else, right? I don't think so. Okay, Two more games. Do we want another clue? We can get another clue. Let's give the people a fourth clue. It's Ken Griffey Jr. is guest here in chat. Muggsy Bogues, shout out to Tyrone. Marshawn Lynch. Somebody else guessed Walter Payton. You guessed Walter Payton because, of course, he was nicknamed Sweetness. Fourth clue. Let's drop the fourth clue. The fourth clue. This might change some things. It's safe. Safe is the fourth clue. Fly, grab, sweet, and safe. Tell me what athlete we're talking about. Get yourself a week free of RotoGrinders Premium. Where do you tell me? You tell me in the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. Some guesses coming in. I think I did a misleading gesture, by the way. I just want to say that. I did the safe sign. All right. It is not Deion Sanders. But Chop, let's move on. Let's talk about the fourth game. Fourth game is pretty interesting too. The Pelicans in Phoenix, 237 is the total. They're 7-point dogs here. Again, they're pretty thin. Just 10 dudes are dressing because Kelly O's got a rest. No Kelly O tonight. Bruce Brown's he's going to rest as well. Brandon Boston is out. I believe he's got an ankle. Herb Jones is out. Of course, DeJounte Murray out for the season, as is Herb. Midday downgrade to Bradley Beal, who's been playing an outrageous amount of minutes of late. So maybe they're giving him a breather. Maybe they're picking a spot for this. Otherwise, nothing else of importance. Cody Martin still out. Monte Morris doesn't matter. He's out. But, down to 10 for New Orleans. We are projecting Alvarado to start. That's not a guarantee. Maybe we get Makovich, especially if Bull starts. Right now we have Alvarado, McCollum, Murphy, Zion, Misi to take on Booker, Beal, Durant, Bull, and Richards. But that stuff can be fluid. We've seen Richards get the hook at the half. And possibly for Beal would be one of Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen, Tyus Jones probably gets a few extra minutes as well. Bull becomes more solidified. But, your assessment of New Orleans and Phoenix. What do you got?
Like this game. This is a good game. The last two I think are my two favorites. But, the New Orleans side, I do like McCollum and Trey Murphy for the same reasons, because of the three-point shooting they bring to the table against Phoenix. I think they're both in really good spots. CJ on FanDuel is significantly cheaper than Trey Murphy, so kind of might like him even more over there than Trey Murphy, even though Trey's been really good, especially since January the 1st, small sample stuff, but Phoenix has been absolutely putrid against the three-point shot. So I can see Trey Murphy and or CJ McCollum burying a bunch of threes and doing really well right there. Yeah, they're going to jam some Makovic in there, and I don't know if I want that. Some Hawkins is going to pop in some optimals. Those are a little rough around the edges. Alvarado is okay.
Hawkins would close. Like, if this game is a 40-point game, he would be out there. He would be. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if it was a 40-point game, they still have to have 5 guys out there.
Man,
he's one of those 5.
Phoenix is beating nobody by 40 these days.
Probably not.
So I don't know, but I mean, it's he's got a good price on FanDuel. I get it, but I just don't know if that's the route I want to take. But on the flip side over there, Nick Richards, just phenomenal rebounding opportunity here. He doesn't do a lot on this team, but he can rebound. He does average over 8 per game this year, and so this is the spot for him to grab a bunch of rebounds. This is his 10 rebound spot here against New Orleans. Like that for a really cheap price tag. The guy, though, Dean, the guy that's jumping off to me in all the stuff, not just – he's good too, man. But it's Devin Booker. And I can't play him because I can't play all this. He's a little bit cheaper on DraftKings. I mean, if I was playing DraftKings tonight, I might think about it. But, boy, he just matches up really well with New Orleans here. He's got everything working against New Orleans. So, if I was gonna, if I could afford him, if I didn't like the guys from this last game so much, Devin Booker would be a guy. I don't think he's gonna get much ownership on either side. He's gonna fill it up tonight. Three-point line is gonna be good. He can get into the paint. He can get to the free throw line. All things New Orleans will give up on you. I think he suits this matchup slightly better than Kevin Durant, who's also very good. But if I was gonna bet on anybody in this game between those two, it would be Booker. And I'm getting the support of the defense versus archetype is slightly better quite a bit better for Booker. So maybe they see this. Maybe I'm seeing the same thing as that, and that's not a bad thing. So, yeah, Booker's a weird, good spin up for me that I don't think I'm going to get to. But man, he's a good GPP play. Like if I was running 3 lineups tonight, Dean, he would be on one for sure. But I got one lineup. I'm not playing around with all that other multi-entering stuff tonight. But on 3 lineups, he's definitely making one.
He would also get incrementally better if Beal is out. We have an if-then set up. He would have almost a 50-point projection on DK, almost 48 on FanDuel as a median projection if we happen to lose Beal. And also, 37 minutes is the projection for Booker. 37 minutes is the projection for Durant. The minutes are outrageous these days in Phoenix because they have nobody else. Like, they just have no depth in this team. And they're kind of a desperate team as well. Even like Durant, Beal with his injury history, those guys are playing so much, just so many minutes these days. Hawkins is 3.8 and his projections around 20 fantasy points. Scoring reliant, The floor is rough if he's not making his shot, but he's somebody you might need. Makovich, especially if he draws the start. He's currently projected around 25 minutes or so. I've been playing Alvarado all the way up, but like now the price is getting kind of where it should be, similar like Pods, but I think he's in the pool. We have the other stuff as far as if we happen to lose Beal, we're giving Bull 25 minutes, which I think is basically the same, but Grayson Allen will jump up to 26, Royce O'Neal 25. Tyus Jones is the one that's getting a big projection, 32 minutes, which is, what is the leap there? That's got to be at least 10 minutes, right? We're currently giving him 14. So that's the guess is that he would start. And that's a guess, obviously, if we have him to lose Beal. They got to take a stand on somebody. Did you mention Zion? I don't think it's just his minutes are just where they're at. And
I didn't mention him, and I did that on purpose. Because I mentioned him on Tuesday when we did the show, and I mentioned him on the survey on Tuesday, and man, did he go out and lay a dud. So I don't know if I want to play around with him too much with that minutes limit anymore. It's rough, man. I know you got to put it out of your mind, and probably makes for a fantastic GPP play because of that, because nobody's going to want to play him. But like at that price tag, I'm going to have to cut off somebody that I really like. And the guys I really like aren't really – it's not like they're highly owned either, So I don't gain a whole lot in that ownership department.
As of right now in this game, we have Makovich at 28%, which feels a little uncomfortable, but I get why. Because, again, the stars look so much better than the duds. Murphy at 28%, Bull 27. I like Bull. Beal at 23. He might go bye-bye. Booker at 23. Hawkins at 21. McCollum 17. Messi 16. Everybody else in the teens or less. Let's knock out this last game. Crunch time coming on in 15 minutes. You got Kevin Roth. You got Noto and his core plays. I believe Noto's a big fan of today's survey. I think he was talking about who did he like? Somebody in this game that we just talked about. Murphy. I think Murphy was one of the guys he was on. I'll probably talk about him in a bit. Of course, you guys get Kirkwood, leader of the Juggalos, leader of Tiny Hands Nation, leader of Yahoo as well. We do want to give out the fifth clue. If we do not do this in 5 clues, we will give some bonus clues as well. But maybe we'll get there here. Chop. The 5th clue for Fleet Thursday. Tell me what athlete I'm talking about. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Be the first to do so. Only in the Discord, not in the YouTube. Hit the like button, you guys are on YouTube. Like, subscribe. Turn on those notifications, but do not, or I guess you can say names there, but they won't count. Do it in the Discord channel, live stream chat. The last clue, Chop, is create. So it's fly, grab, sweet, safe, and create. Somebody had a great guess, by the way. Sid Bream was an amazing guess in chat. Famously, one of the most famous plays at home was safe against the Pirates, right? I think he was on Atlanta. Slow dude, but he made it in won a series against Pittsburgh. And I did the safe sign, but throw that out. That's not what I was doing, just to be clear.
Okay, I know I need to ask you a question.
Yeah.
We need to I don't think this is against the rules. Now, is this an actual athlete or a fictional athlete?
It is a legitimate athlete who still plays professional sports.
Okay, because I was going to
Do you want to know what sport?
Yes. Football, right?
Football.
Yeah, because for a split second there, I was thinking Willie Mays Hayes, safe, the commercial, and all that. But okay, it's not fictional. It's a real deal guy.
Run like Hayes. He runs like Hayes, but he hits like shit. Is that the line?
That was a good movie. That's a classic.
It is a classic. I tried to think about the sequels, but yeah, for sure. The Buzz, back in the minors. Yeah. All right. So nobody's guessed it just yet. So we might have to have a bonus clue. We'll think of a couple as we talk about this last game. Minnesota and the Lakers. Former franchise name here for Minnesota, taking on the current owner of the name, the Lakers. 229 is the total. I would say back half of the TNT doubleheader. It's not. It's NBA TV. 229 is what we're looking at. Anthony Edwards is questionable. This is an hour and a half after the 4th game on the slate. The penultimate game, if you will. I assume he plays, but who knows, right? I'm not sure if the reason why he missed some time down the stretch against the OKC in that last game was because he got dinged and it was the injury, or is because they were down like 20. because he wasn't really a part of that comeback, but I know he came in and played some, I think, in the overtime. I thought it was just they waved the flag, but he did come back in, I believe. So he's questionable. Big game, as far as jockeying for position in the standings. They want to get in the top 6, of course, if they can. I think they're currently like 7 or 8. Who's in, who's out? Otherwise, well, we may also get the return of DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo's questionable. So Edwards is questionable. Gobert is out. We know Gobert's out. We know Randall's out. For the Lakers, LeBron is probable. No Maxi Kleber. And Bronny's down in the G League. So adjust everything. Your thoughts, Lakers and Timberwolves.
I think this is the best game of the night for me, assuming that we get everybody up in this game healthy and playing. I think it's a great competitive game with a real lack of defense. So on both sides, I really like LeBron. I liked Luka. Locked him in the other night in the revenge spot, and he was good. He's getting his legs under him, but ultimately, I still think LeBron is just as much of a threat here for this team. I think LeBron's going to be better with Luka playing next to him as a fantasy asset. LeBron's going to be a better fantasy asset than he was with Anthony Davis. Luka's going to be able to get him the ball more in better positions to score. And I think LeBron's assist numbers aren't going to drop off that much because he's still really good at that, and Luka can make shots too. I just like LeBron. So I like LeBron in this game a little bit more than Luka. I think LeBron puts up a nice total here. Some of his teammates are fine. Reeves, I think, is fine. Rui's playing pretty decent now. And, of course, there's Luka, but I don't want to go after Luka tonight. I think he's a little bit too expensive. At least on FanDuel, he's a little bit too expensive for me. I'd rather have LeBron. The flip side of this game I like a lot. I'm not touching Conley, DiVincenzo, Clark. No, not messing with those guys. But Anthony Edwards, my favorite player on this slate, I think. I think he's a decent price. I just think that ultimately when this all shakes out, the Lakers not being able to get a rim protector after the Luka trade is going to just really haunt them. And they're going to be a bad defense. At some point, they're really good. The switch is going to flip, and they're going to be terrible. And so somebody's going to start taking advantage of it. I'm going to crank it up with Anthony Edwards tonight. I think he's going to be able to do a lot on this defense, and he wants to, and he's playing great lately. He's consistent and has the ceiling lately. So I got Anthony Edwards locked in. I think Naz Reid's in a pretty good spot. Naz Reid's making himself a really nice run out of contract here, man. He's playing off the charts lately, so he got that. And I think the one he's getting ownership on FanDuel because he's got a good price tag. I don't know what it is on DraftKings, but Jaden McDaniels is in a great spot too tonight. So
he's another guy. The price just keeps going up, and he keeps paying it off. He's 6'9" now in DK. He used to be in the 4s, but it's fully justified.
Is justified, and he's a little bit cheaper on FanDuel. So, yeah, I think this is a good one where I kind of want to get my lineup to have an Edwards and LeBron in there, running it back in the late night hammer, going against each other and hoping for a big, massive shootout. And if I can afford any of these other smaller pieces that I talked about, that's great. If not, I can get my value from other places. But I really like Edwards in this game a lot.
To your point about the Lakers defense, last 15 games, they still have the best defensive rating in basketball. I'm like you. I don't believe that. Like good for them. I think eventually it's going to catch up with them. But they've been playing good defensively last 15 games. Obviously, they haven't had Luka for 15 games. But LeBron, if you watch, it looks like LeBron's kind of ramped his defense up. He looks a little bit more motivated defensively these days as well. I guess, do you have a plan B if we happen to lose Ant? Or you're confident he's going to play in that stat?
Oh, man. If he doesn't play, then it feels like then there's a real injury there because he's not just going to – I don't think he would just sit out just to rest or anything. Not in this game right here, but –
that's what I'm thinking.
He's 97. Then I would adjust. I'd make some adjustments. And so if I got LeBron in there already, then I just have to – maybe I'll leave an extra roster spot in there so that if I did have to adjust, I could climb up to Luka. I could get rid of LeBron and go Luka and Naz Reid or – like if Anthony Edwards sits out, then somebody on Minnesota would be a must play. Like Naz Reid might be like a home run play. So I try to adjust those two guys, and maybe I have to swap out LeBron and put in Naz Reid and somebody else. But yeah, I'm cool with. There's pivots there. If Anthony Edwards doesn't play, then Naz Reid is a like a home run play, and I can get him. I'll have 2 roster spots in this game, at least 2 roster spots. So I'll be able
but
to
if it's
adjust.
like if it's Ant and somebody expensive, then there's what you're not taking advantage of somebody. It's got to be Ant and somebody cheap. Or just like if you trust he's going to play, that's that. And figure.
Well, here's the thing. So even if I have to leave $2,000 on the table, and go from Edwards to Naz Reid, look at my FanDuel projection right now. Has Anthony Edwards roughly 45 points right now with Edwards in? Naz Reid is roughly in the neighborhood of 40 points. Like Naz Reid would jump way up. Like Naz Reid would probably have a better projection than Anthony Edwards has right now. So I might be
48. Not to cut you off, Chop, but now this is if Edwards and DiVincenzo are both out. So it's the combined of the two. He would have a 48-point median projection, which is insane.
So it would be more than Edwards has right now. So you'd be the salary. You'd feel weird about leaving a lot on the table, but your projection would go up. So, yeah, I'm cool with it, man. I think that's the pivot if Edwards is. But Edwards would really have to be injured to sit this game out. I don't think that he's going to sit.
I assume he plays as well. We have a winner, by the way. Today's for the Fleet Thursday, Chop.
Well, I didn't get it.
Shout out to Marit. MRETE took it down. We'll talk through it here, Chop. I know Crunch Sam's coming in here shortly. We got Kirkwood. We have Noto. We have Roth. Let's knock out the clues. The first clue, Fly, is in reference to the team he plays for. By the way, technically these don't exist. I did a little bit of research on it. It's not. They don't exist as one word. I guess it's 2 words, and it's like more like an osprey. Seahawk. Second word, so Fly is in reference to the mascot on the team he plays for. Grab, this is what is kind of his part of it. This is what tells you what position this person plays.
Okay.
Grabbing some passes. Sweet. This is a reference to his number. Sweet 16. Number 16.
I
safe.
wouldn't have got that one. I was off.
Every safe has one of these, Chop. What does every safe have?
Yeah, it is a lock.
Every safe has a lock combination. And then create is in reference to Tyler, the creator. We're talking about Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett is today's Fleet Thursday.
See, all right. I get it, Dean. Now I get it. But let me ask you this. Would it be so hard for clue number 5 to be creator instead of create? Because
I'm doing the airplane at that point.
Creator is like
I'm doing the airplane. I'm putting the food on the airplane and buzzing. I mean, I'm handing you.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a little iffy there, but whatever. Float your boat, man.
Let's see. Jay Swift says I take it back except for that last clue. Meaning the last clue was good. Oh, Jay Swift said all the clues are awful except for the last one, so he liked the last one. But yeah, I thought safe was a really helpful clue. But when I did the safe sign, I realized, oh, wait a second, I probably shouldn't have done that because that's unless I was just trying to be a jerk, and I wasn't trying to be a jerk. That would be misleading because people started guessing baseball stuff because that was a suggestion, subliminally, I suppose. Chop, who's breaking the slate tonight?
Well, I mean, the obvious thing is I'm in love with little Anthony Edwards, but I'll go something a little bit less. Man, it's tough. You know what? Let's say he plays. If he plays, I see a big game out of P.J. Washington tonight, like a monster game out of P.J. Washington. So I hope he's in the lineup.
You're saving a spot for him right now. I think I am too. You're saving a spot?
I mean, I'm going to be backloaded, so I'm going to have I'm not going to play Golden State Orlando. I told you Denver Milwaukee's a good game, but I'm not going to get any of those guys. So, I'll have everything. My whole roster will be open when that Charlotte Dallas game kicks off. I think my whole roster will be open probably.
Give me your favorite value play.
Oh man, what classifies as a value play is Max Christie on FanDuel. He's only 5,400 on FanDuel. Max Christie, I think.
Give me one that's less chalky. He's like the most chalky. If I just hit build, he's going to pop up in every lineup.
Goodness gracious. Let Okay, let me look real quick.
Give me one a little bit ambitious. It's a 5-gamer, so you're allowed to get a little bit.
Okay. Let me whittle down the ownership number for you. And mind you, I'm looking at
maybe Kenneth
FanDuel.
Simpson could be interesting if Ball doesn't go. I'm thinking he could be in play.
You know what, Dean? On FanDuel, I'm gonna give you a 2% guy right now that I think is interesting. I'm not gonna play him. It's Gogo Batazzi. He's cheap. I don't hate this matchup for him. Like those guys like him, they kind of thrive in that slow-paced garbage, miss a lot of shots. That's a lot of rebound opportunities, kind of a thing. So he's only 2%. I won't play him, but there's a possibility.
The problem with Goga is like you can just kind of point to, okay, when did he have his concussion? And ever since he had his concussion, he's stuck.
You think they're playing him with a concussion?
I'm just saying I don't know if he's fully recovered.
Okay.
I assume it's gone, but if you look at the point of when he had his concussion and look at the numbers beforehand and afterwards, and look at the minutes beforehand and afterwards, I'm not saying it can't happen. The price has adjusted too. He's no longer like 6K. Like you said, he's 4.8. You can play him at power forward on FanDuel as well, but he's sort of lost his spot.
The value, man, is just so dry tonight. There's nothing. I don't even. It's dry value. So that's another good thing about waiting till these first 2 games. Let them go off the board, because then something may open up, in those last 3 games, and you're going to have all your roster to work. Like you may get, like what if the second game goes off, Denver, Milwaukee's tipped off. You got a full roster, and then boom, and then we get something. Oh yeah, Phoenix is going to rest so and so. Well, boom, now we're in good shape. So, or Zion's going to sit tonight, and McCollum's going to sit. You could. That's the good thing about that. But I don't know.
McCollum's not. Maybe he sits tomorrow, because again they're playing.
I'm just throwing.
Yeah, I know what you're
out
saying.
there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good thing about tonight and having some roster spots for later is the value that could pop up, because right now in those first 2 games for sure, there's nothing there, man. There's just nothing there.
Crunch time, knocking on the door. News just came in, by the way. Apparently, according to Coach Doc Rivers, that Giannis is still in that 32-minute.
Does that change your thoughts on him? Because I know you liked him a lot.
We've seen him. I don't think he has to play 32 and no more, no less. I think he can still get the 34, but I don't like seeing that. He was basically where he was honest about the 24 minutes, and that's basically where he was at. So I don't know, but coaches lie, and I think this is going to be a close game, national TV. I could see him get an extra minute or 2, but I think he's not going to get 37. Right? I still like Giannis. I still think he's a really, really good play, but I prefer not to have seen that. Let's do it. Let's bring in crunch time. Kevin Roth. We got Noto. We got leader of the Juggalos, Yahoo Nation, leader of Tiny Hand Nation. It's Kirkwood, Kirkdiese. Crunch time right now. I think Kirkwood is the most monikers. I had more that I didn't go with. I think there's a couple I still.
No, why do I have the green backdrop? I don't have the picture anymore.
I don't know. You wanted to be like Roth, apparently.
Yeah, that's cool. You look awesome.
Sweet. So do you, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Now, introducing Kirkwood is like introducing an ancient king. You're like the creator and lord ruler of the Juggalo Nation, the Tiny Hands Nation.
It's like introducing Daenerys Stormborn.
That's right. Yeah.
I was thinking like a boxing champion. It was like 7 different belts. Yeah. No, Roth is just, we know Roth is one of the greatest. The greatest meteorologist in all of sports. And then we got Noto. You run down his resume, the core plays. Noto core plays, golf. He does everything. But I don't have like a list or anything. But we can go for a while. Every single day we get a new one. The creator of the Supercuts play of the day from Kirkwood.
Supercuts fade of the day. The
fade of the day. My apologies. Which somehow is a play, isn't it? Isn't it a play?
We've changed it. It's now. We've changed it. It's a proper fade now.
I can't keep up. It's too confusing. But we have anything else here, Chop, before we step aside and get out of here, make our lineups and make way for crunch time?
Nah, we out of here.
All right. That was a 2-time millionaire winner, Head Chopper. I was just Dean.
Chop. You go, Dean. How was Houston, man? You have a good time?
Oh, yeah. Good time, man.
All right, that's
You
all.
need some pictures. Ran into
I don't think my wife wants to see the pictures. Man.
ran into some fellas out there at the Fertitta Center, man.
Nice.
Paul
You'd
Wall?
like them. Paul
Paul
Wall
Wall?
not in attendance, but
Master P.
Master P was there. Tank got to meet Tank a little bit, and
Chop was the guy who was
Case
asking everybody
Keenum
to take a picture.
ran
with
into Case Keenum at the buffet. We had a little buffet in the Legends Lounge. Not that I just had the ticket, but Case Keenum was getting a little pork. I don't know. Fun time, fun stuff.
I
Thank you,
couldn't
Chop.
pick Case Keenum out of a lineup, I don't think. But shout out to you for being able to say, "Hey, that's
what?
Case."
It's
I'm aware of his
a
existence. But I don't know if I
Houston
can...
legend, man. A legend, best
There you go.
quarterback
Wait,
ever.
wait till you see
When
Tank
Chop
Dell's
talks-
picture.
Like when Chop talks, I don't know if he's being real or if he's like, is that a euphemism when he's like, I saw Case Keenum getting some pork at the buffet, like,
He
I
actually
don't know, what does
did.
that mean? I don't know.
He was talking about pulled pork. Is what I thought.
Right, it may mean something different. I don't know. Anyways, all right, you guys can get out of here. Thank you.
Take it away, Roth. It's all
All
yours.
right, later, guys. Welcome to it, ladies and gents. You know the drill. It's crunch time. It's two of the sharpest minds in the biz. A bit of an abridged show here because it's a smaller slate. We've got 26 and a half minutes until lock, and we've got some smart fellers joining me here. That's Noto over there. He's been doing it for a decade plus. What up, Noto?
What's up, boys? Good to be on. What was Chop talking about? Can't be showing the picture to your wife.
I don't know. I don't know why I just assumed there was a strip club involved when he started talking to buffet. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Kirkdiese in the house as well. What up, man?
Chop. Fun fact: Chop used to be one of those cologne guy bathroom attendants in the in a gentleman's club, but that was a long time ago.
Again, that's possible. I think Big T used to work in one. I think he may have been like security in one of those. Let's dive into it, guys, because we do only have 26 minutes here. Talk to me about the slate a little bit, Noto. Overall, I've heard we're starved for some value here, but what are your thoughts just in general?
Yeah, I think value is kind of the tough part on the slate. I think I'm going more balanced in my main lineup, which means I'm kind of fading a lot of the stars like Giannis and Jokic and Doncic, which is scary. But I kind of like the slate. There's a lot of good like 5K options that I think are interesting, especially on DraftKings. FanDuel, it's even tougher with the value. But I think it's a good slate. There's more options than we would usually get on a 5-gamer.
Okay, sounds good to me. Well, let's jump right into it, Kirk. Let's start on FanDuel. Let's start at point guard. What do you like?
All right. So like Noto was saying, FanDuel is like the tighter pricing site tonight. Like you can make a lineup on DraftKings with like Giannis and anybody who Anthony Edwards, for instance, and you can have both of them, but it's tough even getting like one of them on FanDuel. So you got to pick carefully tonight. So at the point guard, Lillard is showing to be he's going to be somewhat popular, but it's a smaller slate. You want guys that have massive upside. He's one of them. It's a game with a really high total. Denver, Milwaukee, 241.5. So he's a strong play. Jamal Murray on the other side of that game is a strong play too. And then a little bit more expensive than both of them is your boy Kyrie Roth against Charlotte. So we'll see if Charlotte can stay within 40 points tonight. I don't know. That's seems like
It's a lot to ask.
Yeah. But we don't need. It depends if LaMelo plays too. Like we don't know if he's going to play. It's kind of a weird situation. But he did make shoot around, so I kind of lean that he does play. But we don't know. Then there's always Luka, but Luka just seems overpriced for that role right now. I think that his price is going to start coming down a little bit, and then we'll get into playing him. But you could go that route because he's going to be extremely low owned. A chalky play that looks to be like he's kind of a mid tier on this slate. He's 6,200, but it's Jose Alvarado. It'll be interesting to see if he starts or not, but he'll get a lot of minutes anyway. And Phoenix has just been terrible on the defensive end. We've been talking about this for a while. So if they stay competitive, those games are just monster scoring games against them. So Alvarado certainly could be in a good spot, and so could like CJ McCollum, and I'll leave the rest for Noto.
Okay, Noto, your thoughts? And I'm going to just combine guard right now, if you don't mind, Noto. Talk to me about point guard and shooting guard all together.
Yeah, so I'm glad Kirk brought up Alvarado, Olynyk's out, so he could draw the start, and even if he doesn't, he's probably a good bet for 30 minutes. He kind of let everyone down the other night, but prior to that, he'd been really good. He had 36 against the Spurs, 43 and 43, and 2 games against the Kings. So I think he's interesting. Probably a better price point over on DraftKings, but definitely a guy I would look to in tournaments on FanDuel. CJ McCollum, I just never get to, but on FanDuel, 7,300 is a pretty good price point. I like that game environment. Probably my favorite on the slate. I was looking at over the last 8 games. The Suns are dead last in defensive rating, so just getting into a bunch of shootouts over the last few weeks. Shooting guard for me a little bit easier. Max Christie, kind of just lock him in over on FanDuel. 5,400. We've seen a big usage boost since joining the Mavs. Nice matchup against Charlotte, and then. Yeah, I don't mind Booker. We'll see if Bill plays. If Bill's out, then you can plug in Booker in all formats. For value, there's not a ton of value on FanDuel for point guard or shooting guard. You can kind of go to Dallas. Maybe you look to Spencer Dinwiddie, Dante Exum. I don't feel great about him. You can maybe go to Jordan Hawkins over on New Orleans, but man, it's kind of tough with the value.
Okay, good stuff. Kirkwood, your thoughts at shooting guard?
Yeah, so it's just basically the same plays, except I would shoot Anthony Edwards up to the top. I'm just an Ant fan in general. He's your favorite player's favorite player. I think he said that in an interview recently. But,
Pretty good.
Yeah, I like his swag. I like his game. The dude is unreal. He wouldn't even know if he's going to play for sure, but I'm pretty sure he is going to play. I'd be shocked if he doesn't play against the Lakers. But so he's like my top one between like Kyrie and Damian Lillard or Jamal Murray or even Devin Booker. But Max Christie is the value play, like Noto said. They finally moved him into the starting lineup with a full squad, and I think he's going to stay there. And this game is against Charlotte. He should have every opportunity to put up some numbers in this one. And yeah, there's nothing else really there. We don't know if Beal's playing or not, right? We don't have that news yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he had a monster game the other night. It was good to finally see him get going, but he's probably feeling it right now. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay, let's do forward together. Small forward and power forward.
All right. You should send us a list when you do this ahead of time.
Sorry. We've
show
only got 20 minutes.
I know.
I got to click on an extra filter.
I got 3 extra buttons. It makes it a little slower right there. I look like a fool. Giannis, Anthony Edwards, Giannis or Joker, top studs of the night. Anthony Edwards, I love. Naz Reid is power forward eligible or center with Rudy Gobert and what's his name?
Julius Randle, who is awful, aren't there. Naz shines. Naz is the man. So good matchup. The price is getting up there. So there's some pause, but like he's earned that price and he's got the role right now. So feel confident playing him. Trey Murphy, I like. PJ Washington, like him anyway against Charlotte, but we get the revenge against Charlotte game. And we don't know if he's definitely going to play, but I think he's going to play. Jaden McDaniels, 6,500 on FanDuel is priced fine. He's earned that price tag and then some. Franz Wagner, you can play if you want to get a little bit, if you want to have any exposure to that first game. I personally could care less about that first game. And so I'm just, wait for some more news to trickle in and take the first game off.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I did get this comment in on the YouTube, and of course I just lost it. Here we go. Is it a viable strategy to fade the Golden State Orlando game in a DK single entry GPP?
Sure. I think that's probably like chalk.
Yeah. Okay. Noto, what are your thoughts at forward? And again, we can combine them just for time purposes.
Yeah, I'm not sure what sparked the old cologne debate in the chat, but man, this is taking me back.
I know.
It's Chop. Chop had an assortment, and this you got to go back to when Chop was like in the early 20s. What were popular back then? I don't know.
Curve. Okay. Someone said Curve in the chat, and I died, man. My brother.
I don't even know what Curve is.
Night.
I remember.
It came in like a green bottle. Yeah.
I had the Michael Jordan one that didn't smell good, but it was Michael Jordan, so I had to wear
Didn't
it
matter.
every game.
Didn't
you know?
matter. 60% of the time, it worked every time. No, what do you like at small forward and power forward?
So, yeah, a lot of the same guys Kirk mentioned. Nas Reed's probably my favorite. I'm going to be using Max Christie. I have him tagged, but I'll play him at shooting guard. Have Trey Murphy tagged as well. He's been on fire. He's had at least 40 fantasy points in 9 of his last 11. Nas Reed's had at least 40 in 9 of his last 10. So 2 guys with a really high floor, good matchups too. The only other guy that I want to bring up, Aaron Gordon. So he really struggled after coming back from injury. The last 3 games he's played 32, 35, and then in the blowout 23. But, man, he's been really good, averaging 35 fantasy points during that stretch. And, yeah, I think he's going to play a bunch of minutes as long as he stays out of foul trouble against Giannis. And that's probably it for me. Don't mind going back to Zion. He kind of let everyone down the other night. So he could be an interesting tournament play.
I just want to point out.
Chat.
I was going to point out. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to point out that of all people who knows a lot about Cologne in this chat, it's Butthole right there in there.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, our guy Butthole, you know, he needs the cologne.
He knows Cologne.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Jeffrey in the chat says, who picks up Portis's suspension minutes? So I guess I'm out on the loop on this, but Noto, is there somebody who's going to get a bump here?
He's been out for a little bit. I mean, Kyle Kuzma has been playing a ton of minutes. Giannis is starting to play more minutes, but I think he's limited to like 32. Maybe AJ Green a little bit.
All right, but this isn't like a new breaking situation that.
No, he's been out for a little bit.
There's not like a if no him, then there's him. It's like it's just been spread out to like the same guys they've been playing.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought was going down. All right, good stuff. Noto, take me to the center position. What do you like there?
All right. Yeah, again, I like Nas Reed quite a bit. With Kelly Olynyk out, I think Missy's and Makovich are both viable for the Pelicans. Missy's probably the cash game guy. He's kind of been more consistent in the 20 to 30 range in terms of fantasy points. And then Makovich has been all over the place. He can get you 30. He can get you 10. So it just depends on what you're playing, tournaments or cash games. That's about it for me. Don't mind looking at Ball, but he's probably more of a DraftKings play. And I would love to play Jokic at, 5% ownership, but I can't find the salary to do it.
Yeah. All right. Kirkwood, your thoughts at center? Can you just play Jokic and then just play shit, or there's literally not even the shit to play?
I think not only is he like the best player we have and top stud overall from like a ceiling standpoint, and he's priced too high, but like he's gonna be unowned, and it's a small number of slates. So like just try to like find points, and you got to be over the field line. Like if you're building a single entry team, I think it should start with Joker and then just work it from there.
I love that. All right. What do you like at center? Obviously, we like Joker if you can make all the necessary sacrifices.
Yeah. If you can swing it, he's the one. But Nas Reed, like Noto said, but he's also power forward eligible. You could get into some Mark Williams for Charlotte and hope they stay within 40 tonight. Missy and Carlo Malkovich, I think that's what it is. Malkovich, I don't know. He may actually start Carlo tonight, but we don't know that. So I think everyone's probably projecting Alvarado in, but it might be Carlo getting it. So we'll keep an eye on that. Missy's a cheap option, like Noto said, you can play. And I like Bol. I like him on both sides tonight. I think he's underprojected.
Okay. Let's kick it to DK here. Before we do that, I want to make sure you're getting the best deal in the industry. It's right here. It's with RotoGrinders. First month of Combo Pro, $79.99. It's barely more than if you're just buying a single sport. And I'll leave it at that. If you're thinking about buying a single sport, just buy the Combo Pro, $79.99 for your first month. It's as good as it gets. It's only $5 more than NBA Premium, so make sure you're doing that. I got the link in the description. Let's kick it to Noto for guard on DraftKings. PJ is out. I mean, maybe that's not all bad, right? It's just more Kyrie, like usage-wise.
Najee
Marshall.
It's probably a good thing, but I wanted to play him tonight. I thought he was going to go nuts.
Yeah.
We might get some more small ball lineups with Dinwiddie and Exum. They just don't have a lot of bigs on their roster right now that are healthy.
Yeah. Okay. Let's run through it here. We'll do guard combined here, Noto, on DK. What do you like?
Yeah, a lot of the same. Like Max Christie, Trey Murphy, probably my favorite two, point guard, shooting guard. Outside of that, I mean, Anthony Edwards in a great spot against the Lakers. He's been, on a tear. And as Kirk mentioned, your favorite player's favorite player. That's what a line.
It's so good.
I got to use that somewhere in my personal life.
Your favorite something's favorite something. We just don't know what.
Your DFS analyst, favorite DFS analyst.
Your favorite DFS analyst. Favorite DFS analyst.
Yeah. That might actually be true of Noto, as it turns out. That may be.
Dude, Noto's the GOAT. He's been doing it forever. I was just thinking today, like when I saw her on the show, it's like I literally, the first thing I did when I started playing NBA, the first thing I ever came across was his grind down. I used to just take all of his recommend players and only pick from them.
Yeah.
That's how I started DFS.
Do you remember the expert chat, Kurt?
Yeah, I asked you a question. You don't even remember, but I asked you a question on whether Kobe would get over in the assists in his last game. It was only like 1.5 or something. You're like, I thought so, and I bet it, and I lost. I remember that.
I think it was like 100 every time. It was like 100 people, and I was just typing in answers to questions. It was
for half an hour.
Worst half hour of my day, every day.
Crazy. All right, what do we do at a point, Noto?
Yeah, so I mentioned Murphy, Christie, Edwards. I like Devin Booker a lot too. 8,800 is good. Pelicans are bottom 5 in rebounding rate, defensive rating, points allowed per game, 3-point percentage allowed. They're just awful defensively. In terms of like low-owned guys, I like Alvarado again, 5,700. Even if he doesn't start, I think he's interesting. Jordan Hawkins is a good value at 3,800. And then might have a little more interest in the Dallas guys now, Exum and Dinwiddie, but I don't think I'll get there in small field stuff.
Yeah, and then did that include shooting guard? I forgot to mention that. Yeah, okay, good. Kirk, what do you like here at the guard spot on DK?
I like Anthony Edwards a lot. I like Devin Booker. I like Lillard. It's kind of stacked, both these positions. Trey Murphy is probably the best play for price tag, but he is going to come with a lot of ownership tonight at 30 to 40%, somewhere around there. So be careful. Jamal Murray potentially. I think we have Kyrie's going to get a boost, I'm sure, at least a little something here, because it's just more. He's going to need him for more offense. And if we want LaMelo to play, if you're playing Kyrie tonight, like that's your chance right there that they stay in it with LaMelo and you get like a Kyrie LaMelo going back and forth at each other. So I really like that idea if you can make that happen. Alvarado is there, and then Jordan Hawkins is an interesting, really cheap value player for tonight.
Okay, are we really worried about Dallas blowing someone out? I mean, that team sucks.
Yeah, but the team is all time. The team they're playing is probably all time sucks,
Yeah.
And
yeah. I guess. I just can't even imagine Dallas being good enough to blow anyone out, but maybe you're right. Okay, forward spot. That is small forward and power forward. Kirk, what are we doing there?
All right. Giannis is 10-7 is pretty reasonable, except you're getting the minutes limit now. So they said 31. They lie. Doc will lie. So he probably could get up to like 33 or 34 in the right game scenario. Could get less than 31 if it's a blowout of some kind of nature. But 31 minutes on a smaller slate still could be just fine. Kevin Durant is interesting at 9K. Hasn't gone crazy really that much as late, but like it's there. It's a really strong matchup. Smaller slate, so he's definitely in consideration here. Naz Reid, LeBron. Man, I played Zion the other night with a good lineup, cashed everything, and he was so bad. I probably won't play him for it for a while now. But did you see? I saw on Twitter he got like a tattoo around his belly. Is that real, or was that like did anyone see that?
I didn't see it.
What was it?
Like a stomach tattoo around his belly button. It's probably like a fake. It's probably like a meme account or something that I saw, but I wasn't sure. I didn't have the time to look into it to do my normal investigation, but I need to go back to that. Max Christie's there for cheap if you need it. Bull, certainly like. I think he's underprojected. I think he's a beast when he plays, and it's a good matchup. And so 4,900, Beal might sit. Definitely like him.
This is not fake. He got a Naruto, which is some sort of anime tattoo around his belly button. It looks something like maybe a chick would do, but he is not. He does not look like a chick.
My son loves that dude.
There you go. Yeah,
Oh.
I think producer Steve is probably he's big into the anime as well.
Noto, and big into the tattoos, right? I think Steve has a couple of tattoos.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can't show them though. We'd get in trouble for that. Noto, what do you like it forward here?
Najee Marshall, if you update the projections, now projected for 31 minutes, 34 fantasy points, 4,800. That's really good. Really like Trey Murphy, Nas Reed. They're going to make my single entry build. I like Aaron Gordon too. Again, I just think, I don't know, he's been playing better. This is the cheapest price point we've seen him for a while, at least when he's been playing full minutes. I like Bobo, like Kirk mentioned. Just kind of going to get overlooked, especially with all the value that's coming out now on Dallas and New Orleans. So I like that. And then you can go to Makovich in tournaments at 4K. Pretty much it for me.
Okay. That brings us to the center spot. Noto, what are we doing there? Same deal or something a little different?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably just going to end up playing Reed and Gordon in one of the center spots. But again, you can play Makovich. I'm trying to see if I just lock in Jokic, what that lineup will look like. Give me one sec. Because on FanDuel, you can do it and play a bunch of 5K guys with it. It's not as ugly as I thought it would be. Yeah, DraftKings is definitely viable. You get, Booker, Najee Marshall, Max Christie, Bobo, Missy. I think it's really interesting if you just lock Jokic.
Yeah. Kirk, Adam says, is Dwight Powell the play now? Please, dear God, tell me Dwight Powell is not the play in any world.
Dwight Powell is so freaking bad. He's unbelievable. I bet on them to cover, and they did. I got so lucky. But it was like anytime he was on, I was like, why are they putting him on the court? Like
he and Maxi Kleba getting playtime when this team was actually doing things last year. It just blew my freaking mind. He's terrible this year.
Kleber could play defense. Like he was strong. That was it. Like Powell can't do anything.
Yeah, he's the worst. Anyways, it turns out he's limited to 10 to 12 minutes. So the answer is no. Also, we just wanted to rant about how much we hate him. God, I hate that guy. All right. What do you like at center?
Sorry, I was trying to fix my lineup. Like, give me 1 minute after this to make sure. Don't let me not fix it. All right. Okay. Center, obviously, Jokic, as I've been saying, Nas Reed, and Aaron Gordon is center eligible. Brolo is fine for super low owned guy with upside. Maybe he gets up for this matchup here with Joker. Nurkic, if he plays, is he going to play? I don't know. Is he going to do anything when he plays? I don't know. But
I think he's playing.
It's a good spot to be a big against Dallas tonight, right? So I could see that working out. Yeah, that's about it. Maybe Nick Richards. Mark Williams would be the other big, more higher price. But yeah, I think Nurkic is a good flyer for 4,200 on a night where we have no value. But man, it's an opportunity cost position.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We got about 3-4 minutes until lock. If you got some questions, get them in. You probably don't, because we told you everything you need to know about this slate. But I'm looking on the Discord, and there actually are no questions for the first time ever. I think you guys have done a wonderful job. But if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit us with the thumbs up. Drop your questions in the chat. Let's see. Maryi Donyeezy says, Kirk, are we assuming Ball sits tonight after the midday downgrade to the Q tag?
It's weird. That's why it's a weird situation, because he went through shoot around. So it's like, I don't know. I don't have a read on it, because normally if he goes through shoot around, then that's my read.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I really don't have a read.
Okay. We shall see. George says, FanDuel tournament. No, this one's for you. Booker and Trey Murphy or Giannis and Najee Marshall?
Ooh, I'll go Booker, Trey Murphy.
Eric Johnson says Brolo is my slate breaker. Noto, any interest in some Brolo?
I mean, just don't feel like he's broken a slate since he was like on the Nets, you know.
Since Chop was spraying cologne and giving mints out in the bathroom.
I do remember there was like a double overtime playoff game where I had him and he put up like 70. I'll never forget that.
Nice. Matt Smith says DK Cash, Kirk, you want Booker or Lillard?
Man, they're both really strong. I guess I'll go with Lillard.
I just got the worst news I've seen in this chat in so long. We'll discuss it shortly after lock. But Judy, thank you for telling me that. I hate everything. Let's see.
I thought someone died. I thought someone died.
Nobody died. The Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays, are playing outside this year, and it's going to storm every night. Every night's just going to be like yellow, orange. I don't know. There's pop-up storms every night in Tampa. It's horrible.
You won't
and
have
they're
to
going to be
change it.
outside. And my only relief was that I thought the games, according to Judy, the games were not going to start at the normal time, so they would be left off the slate. They would start early. But no, apparently the Rays have pushed their start times back to 7:05, so they will be on the main slate every single day. And every single day there will be storms, and it's going to be pure chaos.
So is it a new stadium?
It's Steinbrenner Field because the Trop got destroyed in the hurricane.
Oh,
That hit Florida, and they couldn't clean it up in time. So they're playing outdoors in like a tiny place. Yeah, it's gonna
Maybe
be.
DraftKings will just leave it off the slate like they do with the late games, you know.
Can I just like send them a message and be like, please, for everyone's sanity, just don't put Tampa games on the slate. It's going to be terrible. Okay. Hey, guess what? I think we've gotten. Oh, here we go. Any interest in Wendell and FanDuel Cash? It seems boring but safe. Noto, Wendell.
Yeah, he projects fine. I won't go there myself, but I don't have a problem with it. The problem, I guess, is that you're locking in the spot before we get a lot of the news.
Right. DKGPP, Tyus Jones viable? Either of you?
Not for me.
is that Eric who asked that?
No, it was not.
It sounds like an Eric Johnson. Tice is okay.
Yeah. FanDuel Cash, Carlo. And this is for you, Kirkwood. Carlo, Mark Williams, or Kuz and WCJ.
Wendell Carter Jr. Well, you missed it. So I mean, the game locked already. So
That's on me. Yeah.
So I'm not going to make my pick because I can avoid the downside.
Yeah, that's a good move. I was busy complaining about how the Rays are just going to get destroyed by weather every night. Is Shannon from Minnesota viable? Who?
If Anthony Edwards is out, absolutely.
Okay. Good job. We've done the things. Eric Johnson says Anthony Black, but I think he's trolling because that game just started, right?
Yeah.
See, I'm with it. I'm smart. I know what's happening, at least when we're talking basketball. Okay, guys, we did the things. We're going to bounce on out of here. So for Noto, for Kirkwood, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. We will catch you tomorrow. You have been crushed.